We are here on Real Estate in Lowcountry. With me now is Kate Thompson. You may have known her before as Kate.Herman with Goosehead Insurance. She's a married lady.
I am.
Yes, welcome back. So good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited and excited to showcase my new name tag.
Name tag. It's very exciting. But we also have some exciting things we're going to talk about as it relates to insurance, because we are cautiously optimistic about what's happening in the market.
Isn't that exciting?
It is exciting.
Oh, I was like hitting my knees. Thank you. But at this point, we're starting to see a lot of the Q4 earnings reports from the carriers that we work with, and everybody has positive things to say.
That's great.
So all of the intense work we've all been doing for the past year and a half, 2 years, depending on where you are in some locations, where we've been seeing a lot of underwriting rigor and rate increases, it's working.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see some benefits of that on the carrier side, which will start to fall to the consumer, hopefully throughout 2024.
So you're really seeing that carriers, that is, I was going to say people, but carriers really are slowly thinking it's okay to come back into our market.
And it is starting to happen. We've started to have carriers show interest in being here where they had no interest before in some situations, which is awesome. We're going to start to see more of it throughout the year is our hypothesis, and the hypothesis of many people who have been studying this industry who are much smarter than me. But the biggest message right now is that if you're opening your renewal, it's looking consistent, which is the best news of the day.
Right.
So we're getting people who are opening it and they're like, I think I paid that last year. I'm like, yay, that's so
That's
awesome.
good news.
That's exciting news.
Yeah.
And as long as you've had no underwriting changes, like no big things that would require us to move you from point A to point B, then we're gonna ride this wave until we have more carrier capacity.
Right. But you did mention that you mentioned just a second ago that underwriting has gotten a lot stricter, over these past couple of years. We're going to still see that moving forward, even though we have more carriers in the space?
It's working, right? So at this point, the carriers are thinking to themselves, okay, so because we're doing this, we're retaining better risks and we're retaining more capacity. So if we continue to have this rigor, we'll be able to stay in business and write more policies, right? And help more people, which is an exciting thing to know. But at this point, we're not showing signs of the underwriting rigor going away, which just means you and I get to spend more time together as we go on through our renewals.
Right.
But it's just having those conversations up front and making sure we're matching you and your risk to the right company.
And let's talk a little bit about those rigors and those risks and those things. If you are thinking about renewing, what are some things that you need to really be looking at? If you're trying to get a better rate, you're trying to move to a new carrier that might take a favorable look at you, what makes you favorable? Yeah,
the risk management is super important. So it's incredibly important to be able to maintain the age of your roof. Like if you're looking at your roof and it's, depending on your location, it can be younger and younger. Like Progressive right now, for example, will not write homes that have roofs older than 5 years old.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's really just a short period of time.
Incredibly, and that's just a pure example. There are lots of other carriers that would go much older than that.
Sure.
But that's how they're maintaining their business and getting better rigor.
Yeah.
But if you're edging up onto 20 years, time to start talking about it and start talking to a roofer. There's also some water management systems you can look into to prevent you from having a water loss. That can get you a great discount. There's one called Flow Logic that we've seen frequently, which essentially installed on your water heater, just a little box, and you have to have it professionally installed. But it's about $1,200 and it'll shut your water off right away if you ever have a leak. So it prevents you from ever having water loss.
Wow.
It's really important to be able to say to an insurance company, like, hey, this is what I'm doing to prevent you from ever having to pay out on a claim, right? Because the best loss is no loss.
Exactly. But if you're evacuated, you're not there to turn off, your mom makes us find where we turn off our water, but if we're not there to turn it off, that does it for us.
What good does that do?
Right.
So we have the water management systems. There's also one, there's a specific brand called Tyne, but it's an electrical current monitor that essentially will watch your electricity to make sure you're not at risk for a fire.
Very interesting.
So it's just things that are starting to help you to prevent those things from happening that make you a more attractive risk to the insurance company.
Very interesting.
And if you're not doing those things, we can still find carriers. It just may not be the most optimal.
Well, but you have the knowledge. If somebody comes to you and says, okay, here's my renewal, what can we do? what you just shared with us is very valuable information because that could save them thousands of dollars in the long run.
One would hope. We're
Yes.
doing our best.
So if somebody wants to talk to you about their renewal, how do they get in touch with you?
So in the bottom of our little tagline
Yes.
here, we're going to have our phone number and our website.
Yep.
And reach out to us anytime. We're really excited to help the Lowcountry.
Yeah, and we had you on another show when you introduced some new team members, so they've got a team ready to go to help you.
Absolutely, and they're excited.
Yes.
Let us help you.
Thanks so much, Kate, for being here. It was good to see you again.
You too.